deployed in terms of like, lot of analytics were getting deployed on the healthcare sector to analyze the data which is coming from the X-ray scannings or any of these machine readings, and how do we make it simplify the life of the doctor and give accurate results. Companies which were focusing that were being actually valued heavily, and they see there's been value. Today, you can see a lot of fintech companies have been considered as the future, because everything which we are doing is in the integrated world. In the statutory compliances, I'm sure without a computer, you cannot file any return today, be it PF, PSI, ETT, TDS, GST, everything is computer driven. With the e-invoice coming in GST, the data is expected real time. Faceless assessments are the kind of the order of the day where the government is saying that let us welcome having digital audits even by the department. Government is coming with a new schema where the data that needs to be furnished will be even more organized, and they are expecting the software companies to make the software suitable to their schema. I'm sure most of you, if you're in corporate, effective 1st April 21, there was a proposal to have a software where it is the audit compliant, which means there is a trail and any changes, the log should be visible. Starting April 22, that has been deferred, and most software companies, accounting software companies, have inbuilt this in feature. Likewise, the government wants to read the data automatically, and they also wants to develop the analytics. Every department is putting up a value from their side to actually increase the data mining. Otherwise, to say this, the jargons which you think, artificial intelligence, all those things is what the department is also deploying. Now that is where the world is moving. So I thought, coupling with my knowledge which I have on the audit and some passion which I had been having on technology, to build a product, and that is where this product TallyOnWheels has come up. And TallyOnWheels is a first of its application where the intention is the chartered accountants, is like my fellow professionals, should be able to complete their audit in more efficient and also within this less time. So I can complete the work with more accurate and more quality, and the time which I'm taking is also less. That is with that intention this has come. And alone, this is not the one developed by me. I had my friend Mr. Surya Subramanian. Of course, he would be joining in some time. He was also a co-partner for me in building the application, and he is a doctorate in the machine learning and other activities. And today we expect the systems to be more intelligent, and it is quite common. We are going to a client's place, doing an audit or reviewing the accounts, or if I myself am an accountant, a transaction has come, I go to my manager, ask him how do I account. He says account it debiting this and crediting this, or give credit period this. Next time a same transaction comes, I don't go back to my manager. I know what I need to do. So if someone trains me, I'm a first year article, if someone is training me how to prepare a tax audit related schedules or a GST workings for filing GST or 99C, I would keep that as my template and I will go next time. And in the next time when I get a new area and I'm stuck somewhere, someone gave an input that adds to my knowledge base. Today, computers also the same. We have built a Schedule 3 financial statements where the system can read the rule engine by itself. Now, a simple example, salaries, employee benefit expenses is what we put it in schedule 3. But what I have in my balance P&L or the tally data could be establishment, salary and wages. Someone could be detailed basic HRA DA as a separate ledger. It could be anything. But system is intelligent enough to classify this. This is what the system has come up. So our vision is to make this available on the cloud. Now you may ask why cloud? Post-pandemic, everyone said that data availability anytime is very important. And the desktop ERPs like Tally has its own challenges. Today, the Tally themselves tied up with AWS and a couple of other partners where it is hosted on the cloud and it can be remotely accessed. But still, it is hosted as a desktop application at a different place. And they are coming with a version equivalent to really like a Zoho or QuickBooks, but it does a lot to go. Honestly, Tally is such a beautiful accounting software where every accountant loves. But it's like an Excel system. You can write anything. It's like something writing with a pencil. So you can erase anything. So you can insert a voucher, delete a voucher, and you don't know anything. You just see the previous voucher, press Alt-2, copy it and change. In fact, Alt-2 has become such a famous command of the Tally that if you want to post a voucher, they press Alt-2, change the date, change the party number, change the amount, change narration, everything. So that's to that extent that feature is being used. And my other objective is also make this data available on any platform. Microsoft Windows was the most popular, if I have to say, 10 years back. But with Ubuntu and Linux machines becoming popular, OpenOffice is being welcomed by a lot of large corporates. Moving to Mac is being very common these days. And if an ERP application which is on desktop based on Windows, it has to run on other machines, it has its challenges. So I have also thought that, okay, the application which is being done should be compatible and it should be able to be read all the places. So with those intentions, what I have built is 7 different modules. And today I would like to do a demonstration of analytics module. And that is what is the requirement of the chartered accountants, auditors, or tax practitioners, consultants. In fact, this can be used as an in-house tool by the manager, the internal audit team of the corporates themselves, to see the anomalies that are happening in the application. At the end, I will also talk about other modules, but to briefly touch upon, a reporting module is going to be a module where it will be more used for a real-time data analytics and a management, a quick analytics. As auditors, we visit the accounts for interim audit, statutory audit, or listed company quarterly reviews. But how about if this can be done by the system by itself on a regular basis? So the reporting module is going to start plugging out on a real-time analysis. The voucher approval module again has originated from a thought where the accountants can also do a transaction and the approvals can be independent of the tally. Today, if one has to post or approve a transaction in Tally, they need to have the necessary knowledge of Tally, meaning I need to open a company, enter the username, password, go to daybook, or look at that voucher and say approve. Now, without the knowledge of the Tally, it cannot happen. Tally data cannot parallelly work in 2 locations. Please note, Tally data cannot parallelly work in 2 locations. This is what we have seen. it has to always in a LAN environment, or someone has to connect remote desktop and work. You cannot have a situation where my Tally is sitting here and there is a person in Chennai, Delhi doing accessing of the data. All that they can do is the remote login, and remote login has its challenges, especially on the speed of it. And if someone is having large transactions, these are the two main challenges: knowledge of Tally, second, being available at that place. The voucher approval module is designed such a way where you can authenticate the transactions, like how you are making a bank payment and that payment gets approved when by entering an OTP. Like similar to that, someone posts a transaction in the Tally, it shows up on the email or the mobile screen or the web application of the manager. Manager says, okay, either accept or reject. Basis that the transaction gets affected into Tally. So the Tally is clearly taken care to go live. And that's the voucher approval module. Integrations is going to be one of the powerful module where the data can be seamlessly be posted from one platform to another platform. Lot of small users are now on internet through Amazon, Flipkart, or their own portals. Or there could be a situation where I have transactions carried out in a POS system, or the transactions which are happening on the bank statement, very simple thing. I would want to record it as my receipts or payment in one go. The integration modules is designed to integrate the data in any format, any platform back into Tally. And this has a standard templates and it can be further customized. Then add-ons onto the Tally. This module will help. The add-on module is predominantly we are looking at for any of the user who is registered for any of these module will get the add-on module as a free add-on. We wanted to give a free add-ons to the all the registered paid users. So this add-on module can actually help to build a lot of value adds. Lastly, the vendor management module. This module will help the small business person to actually go live, where a vendor can upload the invoices. Those invoices can be verified, approved online. Approved online vouchers or invoices will be posted to Tally automatically. The vendor will get a login. Vendor can see the status of that voucher, whether it has been accounted, rejected, whether the voucher has been approved, if it is paid, the RTGS or NEFT details that would be available through vendor management. These are the 7 different modules that are going to be available on the TallyOnWheels. I thank each one of you who are here, being here with me on this first journey. I thank a lot of users who tested it on the beta version and gave their feedback. And we are an open company. We welcome all your feedbacks. In fact, the product gets better and better with the feedback. At the launch, even any good application will have its own flaws. But as it gets being used, users' requirement will be, one user has a requirement of X. I think that would be the same requirement of many. If that feature is made available, definitely it would solve everyone. So on this note, I would really want to thank all the users of the platform, current and future. I would walk you through the navigation, how the data looks and where the what information is there. but all the requirements which is required, it is there at one place. The challenges that are currently there, if I have to say, February 15th was the tax audit, and there are, I'm sure, on Feb 15th, there were at least some amount of returns that would have got filed. So there are, for some reasons, data gets filed, analyzed late. Either the client had come late, books of accounts were not ready, or the staff was doing multiple tasks. Now, the challenges that we have are multifold. We most of us handle multiple works. There are few people who do, I would only do TDS return filing processes, or I would only do GST, indirect taxes, or I am doing only internal audits. There are some set of practitioners who are very specialized, but predominantly most of us do multi-works. Now, with the multi-works, the challenges that come up is the regulatory change. There are notifications that come up periodically and saying that, okay, this transaction is also included for TDS, please do TDS or TCS, or this is the amount, all those things. Client would say that I might have made mistakes, but I would expect as an auditor, you do a hand holding to me. And if there are any timelines, please look at the data much ahead of it. Help me to correct that, guide me. So client is also expecting, I also have to face the regulatory challenges. Then the team who is working, even they are working on multiple clients. So whomsoever is doing an audit for the first year is not the same doing the audit for second year also. So the people are also changing year over year. And at times they are very juniors, very new to the work. They don't know either the client business, or even if they can easily grasp the client business, but they really don't know what they have to do. Like they do not have all the checklist. Now that would deteriorate the quality. They may not check all the aspects of the data, or you would need a highly skilled staff. That means we will have to shell out a lot of the paycheck. Sometimes it would not get compensated with the fees that is being billed. These are the challenges that I see currently that are there. And my intention is to increase the quality of the work and reduce the cost of doing that. With that objective in the mind, I have built the TallyOnWheels. There are many modules which are coming. What I'm going to show you demo today is what is live, and I'm sure the live itself will say a lot of things. And we are working with the different agencies to integrate the data. And I expect that you have already done the statutory audits for financial year 2021, and you are right now gearing up for the interim audit for 21-22. Using this, you can send out an information module to the clients where they can do a lot of data cleansing, and we will be able to do it, right? So before I get on to a live demo and show you about the product, just want to have an interaction with you. If anyone have any questions, anything you would like to ask, anything before we start this session, you can put it in the chat, or you can unmute yourself and ask. If there are no questions, I think we can go to the live demo. This is the product TallyOnWheels, and I'm sure some of you would have explored the TallyOnWheels, and it is free for registration. There is a trial version, so people can register. So the application is not here. So you have to log in for the application. So the application goes at app.tallyonwheels.com, and the registration is quite simple. If you're a first time user, you hit the sign up button and you can fill all the information. You'll get an activation email and you just activate and sign up. So this is the login page, and we can easily log in onto the application. Let's start the demo. Let me log in. Once you log in, you will see the welcome page, and these are the modules which we have discussed. This is what you will be seeing. You can list as many companies as you want to work out. The way this has been designed is, you might have a situation where you want to do a cross audits between one entity to another entity, or you want to consolidate. So there is a concept of a tally company, a tally entity, and the group. Let's say I am auditing the Reliance group. So I would say that, okay, when I create an entity, so on the right side, I have this button, create entity. I will say create entity, and I will say Reliance group. And in the Reliance group, so this is the entity in the Reliance group, I select this entity and I can add as many companies I would like to add. The initial screen you just saw in a while back. If you do not have a connector, so now how this analysis is going to happen? This analysis is going to happen on the application, which is a browser based application. So the moment you open this, it will try to connect the data from Tally. So if the Tally data is not available, it will show up a message saying that, okay, you need to install a small connector, right? So that is what it is going to show up. And it will be something very, again, self-explanatory, where you have to download an agent, and the agent would be kind of a bridge between the Tally and the cloud. So it will say, to connect and sync your data, please download and run our agent. Agent is like this courier agent, where it reads the data from Tally and it puts into this analysis engine. So it is a bridge where it is connecting, and it is intelligent to know which is the company which you are connecting and which is the account that needs to be synced. So all the settings are taken. In fact, I am here, data is somewhere in the LAN. Not necessary the Tally data should reside in the same computer where you have installed or working. As long as the Tally is connected and open, which means like when I open the Tally, it's like it will ask the select the company. I can select it in the path. I would be selecting either from the local path, or I would be connecting through the server, no issues. So I can just select a company and I will say a demo company. And the moment it is selected and it is presented in this way, it will automatically read and understand. How does it will automatically read, understand? If you notice, I have opened this company called TallyOnWheels demo February 1922, right? This is what I have opened. This is automatically understood by the application. So in my Reliance group, I am saying that add my Tally company. It will automatically say that, hey, look, I find that there is something called TallyOnWheels demo. Is this what you would want to add? Is what it is going to look at. I'll say yes, yes, please add. Now, it is going to look for the data for the current year, previous year, whatever be the year. Whichever is the year you won't want to analyze. Like let's say here I want to analyze the data for 2021. I will just, it is saying the status for this, you have just newly added, there is nothing, data is not synced. You want to sync, you can sync, and all this have been graded out. You cannot view any of the reports. So let me say that, okay, I would like to sync for the financial year 2021 and analyze very beautifully without even any hassle. It's like if you look at Tally at this moment, Tally is normal. It's working the way it is working back here. But in the back end, it starts its analysis process. And the way it analyzes all your masters. It would look at the voucher types that are available, the voucher numbers, the voucher related master configurations, the ledgers, groups, and everything that is analyzed, and the transactions would be analyzed, including narration. The way the narration is recorded, including that, it would be analyzed. All the data would be analyzed, and it has an incremental analysis engine. That means I read some data, and the next record, if there is, I am reading, it has an anomaly. Let's say I pay a rent of 50,000 every month, but the next month the rent is different. It also calculates that, okay, if there is a gap between the incremental transactions, and we call it as relative size factor, even that is analyzed. And the beauty of it, this is at a cloud, so a machine learning. If you think some error happened, something hasn't been analyzed, it will add that to the process, and it will add and increase the analysis. So it is going to do it by on an incremental mode, and roughly it will take say 3 to 5 minutes for it to complete the whole of analysis. And once the data is analyzed, it will say that my data is complete and your reports are also ready. So it is not that I am collecting the data and I will take my own time to analyze and give it. So I am doing an audit on a real-time basis. So there are list of rules that have been given. Those rules would be read and analyzed. Now you may ask, how many rules have been given? Approximately around 160 odd different types of rules have been set, and around close to 70 reports would get generated basis the rules. So 70 multiplied 160, different combination of analysis of the data is happening parallelly. That is what it is going to do. And once it analyzes, it gives us a report. It would give us a report on our screen. One moment. Okay, I was on mute. So it is now fetching the vouchers from the tally, and it is giving us the analysis report. Now let's look at how does it would look like that the analysis that happened. Let me parallelly open in another window. And this is the analytics module. So how the reports are getting generated. So it will show that these are the reports that are being fetched, and these reports will be generated. It is all going to happen on the real-time basis. On a real-time basis, these reports are available. One has to make sure that the data which you are connecting, and if there is a change in the data, you can resync. So you will get an update button saying that this is the last sync that has happened. Let me mute the participants. Yeah. So you can also analyze the financial statements, the balance sheet, P&L in the Schedule 3 format. So the balance sheet which is required is available in the Schedule 3 format. And this is not just available for the year. You can see this balance sheet for a quarter. So quarter over quarter, you want Q1, Q2, Q3, you want the data. The data is like sliced and diced in the quarterly manner also. You want it in a monthly basis. Again, on the your analysis is filtered only to a month. It is sliced and diced to the month. And once you do it, the reports are relating to that would be generated for that period. So whichever is the period that we are auditing, for that period, the analysis reports would be generated. Whatever the system has done the analysis, it would be reported. The analysis is classified into 5 categories: audit of assets and expenditure, income and liability, and other general observations. So let's look at, say, when I say audit of assets, it will say, okay, observations relating to cash, debtor, fixed assets, general, everything would be available. If I click on cash, the observation which is on the cash is given. Like, for example, the cash ledger is of receipt nature, which means I have received money, but the entry that has been passed using through a payment entry. So the payment entry has been done while the nature of transaction is a receipt. And if the closing balance is negative, it would be showing up. It would also show up if there are negative on any given day and the days in which it has been negative. If there are exceptions to my any of the assets, like it is showing me these are the list of debtors where I have received advances. Now there is nothing wrong about it. It is only going to list you what you have to focus, where you can send out this file to the accountant saying that here are my observations, and I would either want a comments of yours or the corrections needed. For example, I have my debtors where advance is received. Now you can quickly check the aging of it. And if it needs to be GST discharge, you will see whether it has been paid or not. Invoices have been raised, but it is not adjusted. You will be able to see it. You can do all your analysis. It is going to give you where the exceptions are. Now you may say, okay, you have 10 reports. I want to add another 10 more. That is possible. This whole of the engine is built based on Python with a rule engine. So there is a schema. If you can actually write a schema for yourself, you yourself can create reports suiting to your organization. Or you can just say that, okay, in my login, I want to add these reports. The support team will be able to add the reports to you. The only thing is it should be in English. Something that can be expressed in English can become a report. Now, this is one thing common which we keep seeing. The ledger closing balance will always have difference between bill wise because many of them use on account. I strongly suggest balance sheet items should be activated with bill wise transaction, including your TDS receivable payable, where you can match with 26 As. P&L items should have a cost centers. People who are using cost centers will find a very beautiful analysis of the report. Let me give you a visualized statement of it. With the help of a technology, you can trace back the original transaction. One simple example, I have a vendor where I have purchased a stationery item. Let's say this is classified as printing and stationery. With the same vendor, I have also purchased some electronic items and like say mouse and everything, which is purchased, which is classified under repairs and maintenance. I have activated Billwise. I am making the payment to that vendor. When you look at the cash flow statement of Tally, it will only say current liabilities, vendor X 10,000 has been paid. But if I want to know why I have paid, I have to go there, look at these bills, then go back, and when those bills got generated, what is the nature of expenditure? Can I actually prepare a P&L account on actual receipt and payment basis? That is currently not possible in Tally. But with the help of this application, those who are using cost centers or those who are using bill references, you can start tracing back. You can start tracing back the original expenditure when the payment has happened using that bill reference. So you got an entry, you through that entry you are navigating. That is what I have said. If you think that, okay, look, I want this report, that report can be added as long as you can actually frame it in English. In fact, once you start subscribing and using the application, if any of your team are little techno savvy and wants to use the advanced application, our support team will help in guiding them. It is like Microsoft Excel. People know Excel, but to know VBA and doing advanced programming, you need some support. The same thing like that. You will get all the reports. So here is my reports. The data was not matching bill wise. So let's say this is the party. The debtors ledger is showing a closing balance of 33,000, but the bills which are outstanding for him is 67,000. Now this is something uncommon. So something would have been paid, it would have been paid as on account. So this is a pure hygiene, housekeeping activity which an accountant has to do. Now you can say that before I do the final audit, here is my interim audit report. Please clean this data. You may have a vouchers with journal entries other than income. Let's say I am not using sales or purchase modules. That's fine. I'm okay that you debit the customer by using a journal and credit income. That's fine. But the credit leg should be income, right? When you are dealing with the debtors, other than receipts, which you have collections you have received from the debtor. So if you have a journal entries where the debit leg is something else and debit leg is debtor and credit leg is something else, then it will say that looks like that these entries needs an extra scrutiny and get an approval, not that why these entries have been posted. Sometimes a creditor would have been grouped as debtor, or inter entries happen between one debtor to other debtor. How can this be caught? The system will analyze and catch it. So a report of that is prepared automatically. If like your cash, if the inventory goes negative anytime, it will show up. If you have made any purchases, capitalized, well and good. If it is not capitalized and it is like in CWIP or work in progress, whatever be the heading, is like you can see here it has CWIP, but it says, okay, it is also part of capital work in progress being part of fixed assets. Or if you have sold assets during the year, looking at the profit or loss on sale of asset being recorded or not. So in one go, it has analyzed whatever the assets that have been sold during the year or added during the year, so that you can ask for the original invoices, check, satisfy the availment of credits, genuinity of the credits, all that can be verified and checked. So that data is again extracted and prepared. If someone is capitalizing something where the value is less than 5,000, less than 5,000 can be charged off. So it also detects and says, looks like there is something more than less than 5,000. Or an assets which are expected to be a debit balance, but it is in credit balance. Like we have seen the cash went negative. Likewise, there are assets with credit balance. So one has to check. And the another beauty of it, it doesn't just give the ledger name. It gives you where is this ledger grouped under debtors and which is under current assets. If you have a multi-level grouping, it will give you a 5-level grouping. So you can easily trace back and check it. And if your opening and closing balance of the debtors are the same or other than the debtors are the same, you can also check whether you have the in your master working file, whether you have these details or not. Most of the time, which I notice in the audit, is the audit team doesn't make a question on say telephone deposit or KEB deposit, whatever be the deposits, thinking that it is coming from the previous year someone would have checked. But this opening balance is also carried forward and it is lying as on 31st March 22, which we are signing. So this anything which are carrying forward should be forming part of the master working, because like is having difference. So that has to be taken, right? So this will give you that, okay, these are the data that's coming from the previous period, and look whether everything that is required is there or not. The next thing is the prepaid expenditure. This is one common area the errors happen. We defer it, thinking that it's a 12 months carried forward. But this deferment is not properly adjusted at times or not closed. It will also list, okay, wherever the prepaid expenditure which is not closed with the bill wise and from what date it is coming up. From May 20, only July 20 it has been closed. After that, nothing has been closed. It is overdue from 273 days. You can see each of the report coming up with an information very suitable, relevant to that. Then if you have any of the opening balance and closing balance for the prepaid expenditure not posted, that will also show up. Sometimes you are giving advances to the staff. So this would have been offset with the salary payment and the salary payments are not recorded. So the net salary is only treated as an expenditure. So that can also be checked whether the recovery is happening or not. Various analysis. When it comes to income ledgers, if my income ledger is in debit balance, here I have some discount on sales. So, and discount on purchase, something is created under indirect income in this case, which ideally shouldn't be. If it is an income ledger, should be a closing balance credit. So it will show up that, look, something is wrong with this. Or directly I record income or an expenditure. So debit cash, credit income without routing through AR or an AP module. So it will show up that, okay, vouchers which did not pass through an AR or AP module and which has coming into this ledger, it will show up. And when the expenses are done, similarly, you have made the payment without booking the liability. When you say made the payment, so the voucher type is payment. You debited your bank, you debited your expenditure and credited cash or bank directly. So it will show up in without booking the expenditure, the liability. If the errors are there, it will be showing those errors. And this is another thing. Whenever there is no GST on the purchase, you did not record the GST on the purchase, you might have to see whether there is a reverse charge liability for it, or is it a composition purchase or an exempt purchase, because you will end up into an issue tomorrow. If this is this, you will have to pay it under reverse charge. Those all the items are visible here. If something is written off as a bad debt, it could be write-off ledger, or it could be bad debt, it could be provision, whatever be the nomenclature. By a multiple combination, it will pick it up and group it that, okay, there is a bad debt, check whether there is a board resolution, check whether there is an approval, because income tax in the faceless assessment, you have to also upload the document of the PAN number of the debtor and your correspondence which you had to before you concluding this as a bad debt. So it will be listing you all those things. And when the TDS is done, what is the amount of the TDS which has been done? So against each of the party, under which head you have done the TDS, and the amount of the TDS that you have done, and the expenditure amount. So you can compute whether the percentage is satisfying, not satisfying. All those the controls are, it will deduct, report the TDS that have been deducted. Like how we have seen debit balance of income ledgers, credit balance in expenditure ledgers are listed. Equivalent to your assets, all analysis of the liabilities are also done. And apart from this, there are miscellaneous items which is generally which are covered. If there are any interbank transfers or a cash deposits with the exceeding certain limit, or if the transactions have been conducted on a holiday, all these are listed. Cash withdrawals. This is the relative size factor which we have said. For example, this customer sundry debtor, there was one entry was 23,600. Okay, here is same, but unsecured loan there's a 10 lakhs and a 5,000. So the relatively there is a huge gap between the first item and last item. So you have to see, okay, if the gap is so much, which is like more than 100%, then you got to see, okay, is this genuine? And there's a question that came up that, okay, can this report be taken into Excel? The answer is yes. And will all these features be available in trial version? Even the answer to that is yes. How do I get this? I click on the reports. I can download my Schedule 3 financials. I click on the Schedule 3 financials. My financials get downloaded. I click on the analysis that I am doing. The analysis reports get downloaded. So the reports gets downloaded automatically from the browser. And the beauty of this, it also gives you a trail of its analysis. Let's say Schedule 3 financials, you want to classify it into one format and it is classified into another format. You can change. In a normal course, preparing financial statements will take 1 day's job. But here you can see the financial statements are getting prepared and presented on just a click of a button. So as I said, what is there in the roadmap is the tax audit schedules, the annexures to it. And when I say annexures, let's say simple example, professional charges. It will give you an annexure. The professional charges have been paid to these 10 people, April, May, June, in a columnar matrix. Automatically, the schedules gets generated. You have a term loans to be repaid. It will give you the term loan repayment. My sales and purchases, the party wise, month wise details, that is the annexure that is getting ready. That would be available for your as audit working paper. And all the things which we have seen, is available here on the screen. So the sheet name, which is there here, and you can link that sheet. You can click on that. You say view, it directly lands you here. I can come back to the home. It will also give you, even before you see a high level, how many number of lines the exception is there, what is the amount. So I click that report, I come here. Now you want to take an action on it. Say you want to go back and check this into Tally, you can go to Tally. Here is the voucher date. Here is the debit and the credit ledger, vouchers, the ledgers that has been debited. You can come back and you can see. So all the information is available here. Like where the party wise, bill wise is not matching for 133 customers, it will, okay, here is aging where more than 180 days. These many bills are outstanding, overdue more than 180 days. So it is showing up more than 180 days bills all up here. So you can get all the information in one go. And if you want to make a further analysis of it, you can also prepare this. Being an Excel, you can prepare a pivot table. Like we have seen the highest RSF, highest and lowest transaction. So it is just a simple Excel. You can apply your filter and you can say, okay, I want to look at only some top 10 accounts, and I will only pick these accounts and I'll see why the analysis is there. Or you want to say that, okay, I want to eliminate the balance sheet items. I want to pick my expenses. So you can say, okay, I want to see only my direct expenses or indirect expenses. Now you can filter it. You can see why there is a huge gap. There's one entry of 3,59,000 and one entry of 6,000. Maybe the client is posting bulk entry month on month, but leftover employees would have been paid partially. Maybe you have to focus that and check it, whatever be the reason. Like a power charges is showing 7,60,000 and 24,000. Let's say if I have to go to this ledger, power charges, and if I see on a monthly basis, every month some 6 lakhs, 7 lakhs entry is there. And this seems to be quite normal. But there is one small entry. There is one small entry which has come up in between. You can see this 24,951. This is something seems not normal. So you can go back and see here, there is no narration, etc. So you can go back and check why it has come up. So your relative size factor will automatically help you to detect that is there any anomaly in this. So by this way, what you are doing is you can, before starting the audit at the client's place, you are ready with your observations and say, hey, look, I want you to give an answer to it. Then or a documents required for this, you want to ask the client, and then you want to take a decision. So this is your analysis. After your analysis, everything you feel everything is correct, then your financial statements are ready in one go. So including the notes or the significant accounting policies, the financial statements in a Schedule 3 format, whether it is a private limited company, partnership firm, or anything, the financial statements are prepared. Right now, there's only one format at which it is available. We are working on giving two more formats. The T format, which is prepared for the partnership firms and proprietors. And currently, it will read the previous year data from the same tally. So we are also working on bringing two different tallies and loading it into the same entity. So inserting. It works on a group. You can add multiple entities in multiple companies in one entity. It will prepare you at a group level. But a subgroup merged is something, a possibility that we are working on. I think even that would be possible in a month's time. The beauty of it, this being a cloud application, so as and when the new feature is released and it is uploaded, it will be available to you. And these financials which you are seeing, which are the Schedule 3 financials that you are seeing, these are directly coming from your trial balance. You have your balance sheet. You can see all the data is linked from the balance sheet. And more importantly, when the data is linked from your balance sheet, it can also help you to decide whether you want to change. Like here, it also made a classification between short-term, long-term borrowings. So looking at the nature of the terminologies and everything, it makes its own classification. Now you may ask, how did it know that it has to be repayable from banks on this demand in this thing? Can I change the classification? We are also coming up with you changing the classification back in the rule engine. Right now, you can change the classification here in the system itself. So let me show you how this is there. I have my ledger name. Here is my ledger name. Where is it sitting in the tally? I have grouped under, say, A account under current account, but my grandparent is capital. Now it is tracking you 4-5 levels. Predominantly, eventually, it has to be a ledger, whether asset, liability, income, or an expenditure. What is my opening balance? What is my debit, credit, and closing balance? So where is it grouped? It is grouped under equity shares. And when it comes to P&L, it will also say I have whether stock in trade or where it is grouped. It will be giving you the list of items. Let's say here freight, IGST, GST, everything, it automatically grouped under freight. There's a generator fuel, but it is automatically grouped under power and fuel. So this logic is also built in. If you want to change this, there are 3-level changings made. First, you can change a rule engine at a company level. You can change a rule engine at an entity level. You can change the rule engine at your account, saying that for all my accounts, I want it to come in this way. Even those kind of flexibilities have been brought in into the system. And that's where I said, if there are power users and advanced users who wants to create more rules for yourself, our team, a support team, can help you to write those codes and how you can play with and generate. You can add one more sheet, one more report of yours. You yourself can do, not necessary that it has to be done by me. So if you know how to do it, like how to dwell, get better into it, to the audit analysis exceptions, you can add some more reports of yours automatically. This is completely a rule based or process based, which is set up. So you can, given that this data is there, you yourself can apply a simple pivot and can prepare a financial statements like on the go. You can say that, okay, this is my data. I can say my ledger type. I will pick, let's say, assets, and we will ignore incomes and liability. And let me bring my asset ledger type and primary group and my ledger name and my amount. Automatically you can see that, okay, how the data has come into balance sheet. A simple pivot, you can visualize and go back and compare with the tally whether it is proper or not. So what you are seeing is the tally version of it. But how did it change up into your schedule 3 financials? You can see a schedule 3 financial version of it. So it will say, though this is how it is there in the tally, but when it came to my schedule 3, it would have been moved into advance from customers instead of sundry debtors or a capital work in progress. So how it is showing up in your schedule 3 also is available in the same view. So you can play with the data. This being here in one simple place, you can automatically play with the data and you can have your own presentations, right? So it also prepares the schedule 3 P&L, the revenue from operations and the other income. You can see the service income, product income, whatever the grouping it thinks is the best fit, it will be doing the grouping. You want to see the ledgers, underlying ledgers, you can automatically, you can always say, let's look at only an incomes and see how it has done the grouping. And it will list out, okay, I have, let's say, P&L classification. So it says I have classified interest received under interest income, some round off discount under non-operating income, and the sale of laptop, job charges. Maybe it finds something as a product and inventory would have been activated, so it is grouping under product, and some IGST sale as the service income. Now you think that this needs to be grouped to something else, you can do the grouping by yourself. So this, both the P&L balance sheet, schedule 3 format, and the analysis report, both these reports available in Excel, which can be shared to the client at the start of audit. There are two things you can start with. Financial year 2021, anyhow, the audits have been concluded. You can load the data and explore for yourself and see how it is. For financial year 21-22, you can come back and see that, okay, these are the errors. I want the accountant to complete before 31st March. I want him to complete and conclude this error so that the audit will be smooth. So both are the thing, both things would be possible and it can be done. So friends, this is about the audit module. And at this point, I would want to stop here and give you an opportunity to ask any questions that you have. And then we can come back as to how do you sign up, what needs to be done, we will see. So any questions to anyone? And what is the your feedback? How did you feel it at the first cut? And I want you to get, you're the first one to see this product. And thank you for being on the first session of the product. Thank you. Any questions by the participants? You can unmute yourself and you can ask. Thank you, Rakesh. I agree that it can save a lot of time. Thank you, Chandra.
Sir, I think, hello, sir, Rakesh here.
Yes, Rakesh.
Sir, it is, I think, fabulous product, sir.
Thank you.
And I think when you were telling, meanwhile only I would have already told a couple of them to share me their tally data so that I can just want to see and run through it. And
yeah,
so that I can give them this initial level of observations, what you mentioned, no?
Correct. Correct. Yeah. So especially, the senior manager or at our level, I actually stopped working. It's like I don't really go pick the voucher and see. The team would have done it, and they say, yeah, I've seen everything, and everything is okay. Now, in the positive of the time, sometimes I find that person is obedient and he is doing, but maybe he is definitely obedient, but he is knowledge deficient. He doesn't know that, okay, I should be checking this. Like he doesn't know that if there are fixed assets addition, I need to know more than 180 days, less than 180 days, or I need to have these vouchers as the audit working papers. Maybe he's not aware, but at least on click of this, I get this, okay, and I go through this and I can quickly spend 15 minutes with him and say, have you checked this, and I can find this. And yes, Rakesh, that this will definitely give you more insights to your data. And I would request you run this on the data where the audit has been completed. So then at least will give you, okay, if not worried that, oh, I didn't check, but okay, what is that I can do next is what it will give you insight.
Sure, sir. Definitely, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Padi, for using it for the trial version and willing to share more insights. Thank you. Okay. So then comes the common question which people always ask is, okay, what is the price of the application? Now, the price of the application, in fact, we want to keep it as simple and as very clear, so that my cost of hosting the application is taken care. Now, there are different types of users which we have categorized. Firstly, someone who wants to try it out. Trying out is always permitted. Lifetime it is free. You can add a company, you can process it, you can see the reports. The company data has changed, you can add. It's like you only have one company, it is lifetime free, no questions asked. But you want to analyze multiple companies, up to 25 companies, it's 5,000 rupees per annum. So which means what you will be paying per company is as low as 200 rupees, right, per annum. A silver user, 25 sub-users are permitted. So the concept of sub-user is you can create users in your login. You can give, okay, hey, look, you work on this company, you work on this company, and your staff can be added. There's no charge for the number of users. You can have those many number of users, we are also working out if we can increase the limit where you can add multiple people onto it. The cost that comes to me is when this data is loaded onto my AWS platform and I run the analytics onto it. That is the cost that comes in. So the cost is linked not based on number of users, but the number of companies that you intend to process. I would recommend most of the people what suits to them is silver user. I would request you to subscribe for the silver user, and there is a golden user also. How do I subscribe? Is once when you log in to your page, log into the account, by default you will be a free user. So you can always go back and say that, okay, look, I want to go and become a paid user, right? So when you log in, on the right side of the screen, you can see the entity and your profile. You can go to the billing module. It will say what is the current plan you are in. Like I am here in the bronze plan and I want to upgrade. I can upgrade my billing information or thing. I say, okay, I would want to upgrade to the next one. And what I have experienced most popular that would work is the silver plan. You can hit this buy now button and it will add to the cart and you can make the payment. All right. But however, you are the first time users, you are seeing the product for the first time, and we have an inaugural offer. I would request not to make the payment here, and after the session, so my colleague will reach out to you with the discount plan. So all the inaugural users or who have registered for the session will be getting a blanket 25% discount for the analytics module if you make your subscription by end of the month. And not just that, all the upgrades that are happening will be free of cost for the year. And not just that, all the other modules that you will be subscribing will also entail for 25% discount. And not just that, is the Tally free add-ons are you will be listed as the premium users, and the Tally free add-ons will be hosted to your account, all free. This is the offer that we are going to have to our loyal customers and our first recognized customers. So we want to keep you happy and we want to feel proud that, okay, someone has trusted the product and using it. And trust me, this product will become better and better, because what you have seen is the first version of the product. If the first version of the product is going to help you so much, all that you can imagine is what you want to add will get further enhanced. For a simple reason, I am here with a motto to simplify your life, to improve efficiency. And for me, the price that I'm showing or putting is to cover my costs of running the application. And I intend to come more closer and closer to you. If you are an audit manager, it would definitely help you and simplify a lot of your work. This I would say a cost, or you can call it as an investment for you to be effective. Effective like any other application, a simple Tableau license which costs 75,000, where it will give you analytics insights, or an idea software which will cost 30,000 rupees per license, and it has its own again restriction. I am having this as something where I want the community to grow. I want we reaching as a techno accountants and no less than a big firms where they can afford to have ACL or any other audit tools. So my motto is to make sure that someone who can trust me can actually go to the next level, to help them who trust me to make them to the next level. so that they are a techno accountants and they can actually uh, work like an ACL tool with them. That is the motto. And on this note, I have come to the end of the session. If you have any doubts, anytime, you can always reach to me. Always, you can ping on the support number after the working hours also. No worries. The best possible time they will reach back to you. The number which you have, you can save it and put it into your WhatsApp. We will start giving you an updates on how to use the reports. There are too many reports. You might be wanting to see some, you want to see only less. The update would be coming on how you can see the reports. The update would be coming by way of WhatsApp from these numbers. And lastly, we are an open company. We are here to listen to you. If you think that, okay, this product has a feature which will enhance the product, and if we feel that your suggestion really enhance the product, we are going to give you a free credits. These credits can be used for the subscriptions. We want to reward you for you bettering the product. So on this note, I end this session and I bring the open house where you can ask any questions, any doubts, any clarifications. There's one question that has come to my personal thing is data security. You might say that you would have signed up with your client. Some of the clients would have asked that, okay, we don't want our data to be exposed, and the GDRs or anything others are there. I respect the data, and there is a privacy policy. In fact, the privacy policy which is there on the website, I've also shared with you. This data is firstly encrypted. That means that only you in your login can view this data. I, as a super user, will not be able to view the data unless I know the open key. What is the open key? If you look at when I have logged into and I was looking at the account, on the top of the screen, you would, sorry, the screen is not shared. Yeah. So if you already logged into the account and you are watching, so when you have picked any of the entity, you will see something like this on the top of the thing, some code. Unless I am aware of this code, and this code is encrypted with a hash, I will not know what is the company you are talking about. If you say, hey, look, my tally data is showing X, but your data is showing Y, unless either you should give me your login credentials or the company ID, only then I will be able to do something or see something. So that's how we have secured, and we don't store the data. Next, the reports that I have shown you for an entity, though none of those reports are stored. When I click this button, you can see again the reports are getting generated. We don't store any of the reports that are generated, the analysis. They are analyzed afresh. Very simple reason, the rule engine gets enhanced. We want the report based on the latest rule engine. So the reports are generated runtime visible to you. The raw data that is synced, only that data is what is stored in the application, and it is only accessed by you. So hope this answers the question on the privacy policy. Any other questions to any of the participants? Okay, Bunny is asking, can you share the plans again? Yes, Bunny. Here are the plans that are there. There are totally three main plans: bronze user, silver user, and gold user. If someone is looking at white labeling and making it as an enterprise thing, we can have a separate conversation. Gold user, I'm talking about 200 companies, could be a large thing. What is best suited is a silver user. So the price of the silver user is 15,000 rupees, but today you are the first premium customers for this session. So you will be getting a 25% discount, and the support team will be sending you out the how to register, how to make the payment. But when you go make the payment online, it will be charging you with 15,000 rupees plus the amount, full amount. So the details would be sent an email to you. Whichever is the plan you would want to subscribe, you can directly make the payment and that would be activated. If you make the payment online, automatically your account gets upgraded and you will be going to use that. I hope the plans that are available is now clear. Any other questions? There's a question from Vinay. For the same client, the tally data is split. Do we need to create a group, then add independent data files? Will we analyze be possible in the same way? Will the pricing work? It is different company because it's a split. Yes, Vinay. Currently, the way it is designed is each tally company is read as one instance, and I am working on how to merge two companies and to be treated as a one instance. It is only possible for different financial year. You may say for financial year 2021 read this data, 1920 read this data. Right now it will your account will be deducted with 2 credits, but don't worry. System, once you do the grouping saying that 2 years is a two different data of the same client, the system will merge and take it, and we are working on it, Vinay. Guru Prasad is asking, is it necessary that all entries should be routed bill-wise and not on account? Guru Prasad, that is what I would recommend, that if you want to make better analysis, better usage of the features, you should be having the P&L with the cost center and balance sheet with the bill-wise. Question from Vinay, based on the variances, deviations in each report, can there be some suggestions of checks that needs to be done appearing automatically so the manager can select the relevant one and system learns from these choices and make more appropriate recommendations? This is possible, but at this point, we are more looking at the interim audit. By the time we hit the stat audit and the tax audit reporting, our intention is to make this as a working paper tool, wherein you can scan and upload some documents relating to that particular audit, that particular year, which you can view it. Today the cost of the data size is cheap, so you can keep that as a working paper, and on the screen you can make notes to those reports saying that yes, okay, I have seen, I'm okay with it. We are also working on an Excel add-on where the notes can be made in the Excel and you press a button that gets synced and reported there. The only challenge, Vinay, there we are working on is when you refresh the data, the whole old instance get purged because every time the new process happens. So it would means that you are committing that you want us to store a report analysis of it. So we are working how do we alter the data storage policy and privacy policy and handle this, because the currently our methodology is we churn and generate the reports on the runtime.
Sir, my question was a little different there.
Yeah.
See, what I was just, you showed a number of reports from the cloud-based application itself.
Correct.
Okay. And you are saying that it will throw up some kind of, based on the relative size factor or various reasons, it will show some of the things that these are the like datas. We have
Correct.
some kind of, it will highlight a few datas where the balances may be abnormal, etc.
Right.
So what I was just asking is, below that particular report itself, will you be able to give some suggestions on these are the possible checks which the team has to do?
Right. Got it.
So after that, then in that suggestions, as a manager, I can just check and say, okay, this I think suggestion is not okay, that suggestion is okay. And then gradually what happens, the system keeps learning that if it gives for this kind of a report, these are the usual choices which a manager would prefer as the checks and balances.
Correct. I got it. So point taken. And what we are also putting up is, let's say some report comes up, like here is the ratios, like my debt equity ratio, ideally I expect it to be 2. Here it is 0.6, pretty good. So company has no debt, but other way of looking at it is not leveraged well. So against each thing, we are working out to come up with a system based analysis. What does the system wants to say about it? For example, my capital employed to the turnover ratio, the standard is 0.25, but here is 5, which means I am a very less capital deployed and the huge sales are happening. Or the creditors payment, ideally it is 40 days, but I have 365 days, the outstanding is there. So maybe it's a cash flow crunch thing. So we are, as Vinay mentioned, that, okay, can I have an actionable statement against what I would want to do? Is we are working on it, and we will give an indicative steps what we think the manager or the staff should do at that point will be given. And right now the data field for that is created and kept blank, but yes, very soon that you will be seeing that what is the action that you can take on it will be made available. And thanks, Vinay. Rajesh, are there any version management options? So Rajesh, the reports are generated on a real time. So before we release to the next version, we have an internal testing the mechanism. And once the new set of rules are available, whenever you generate the report, it will go through the new set of rules. You can ignore the defaults and say that I will build my rule engine. So once you are a user, we will also expose you how you can build your rule engine and you can set. So with your rule engines, your screen will be completely visible to you. Whatever the reports you want to give, the heading, content, everything, you will be able to design the rule. You will be loading it to your account. In fact, you will be the master of the thing. So what I am creating is, I am creating a platform. I am creating an engine. So I am reading the data, putting it into various buckets where you can construct a query, which is like English naturally processed language, and then you can do it. That is also possible, Rajesh. So if someone do not opt for any specific rules, whatever we are constantly upgrading and updating, those rules would be available to you. Any other questions to anyone? Yes. So we have come to end of the session, and I should thank a couple of people who have been working in my team to put this up. Firstly, Azharuddin, who has been doing the testing of all the data that comes. Now we feel testing is easy, but testing is not easy. It's like you have to look at each number, prepare the expected number, compare what's the output. The second credit goes to Shishir of my team, who is building the backend set. Like if I'll say, no, this is what I want, and I write the query, but he has to make it work and put the output in that way. Of course, Surya for the mentoring as to how the product should be, how futuristic the product should be. And there are other team members, Shilpa, Babu, Nikia, who have been part of this journey. So I should thank all my team members. And this is the beginning, and we just started the journey. And I hope this product will be of use to you. And with that intent, we have started building this product. So on this note, we have come to end of the session. It's 6 o'clock. Thank you, everyone. And we will come back to you. We will send you out an email as to how you can avail the discount. You can right now subscribe on the cloud automatically. It will be activated. You can do it, but I do not want to have my early users pay me more. I would want to reward with the more goodies, and because you are my first customers. Yeah, thank you all.